Well, hello, everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. We have in the studio or in his house, HPSGuru.com founder. You know who he is.
Sanford Kreisberg, broadcasting from my summer 1 week rental, my Chevy summer 1 week rental in Chatham, Massachusetts. You can look it up. But moving right along, let's get to Mr. Candidate.
Yes, who wants to apply to Harvard, Wharton, Chicago Booth, Kellogg, Tuck, and Michigan Ross. He's 33 years old. He has a 730 GMAT. His undergraduate GPA was 3.2. He has a master's as well of 3.5. And he currently works in the government in India. He's had government jobs for 8 years. He wants to use the MBA to become an associate at McKinsey, Bain, or BCG and work in the healthcare sector field.
So, Mr. Candidate, I'm going to ask you a very popular interview question at business school. How would you introduce yourself to your classmates?
Hello, Sandy. Hello, John. So, I'm an officer with the Federal Police of Government of India. It's a specialized force mandated to secure the critical assets of Indian government within and outside India.
Okay,
so I've been doing.
Stop, John. How's he doing?
It's a little too technical.
Well, yeah, and the reason for that is you jumped into it was in medias res. You've got a slightly unusual position, so you have to really clear your throat. You have to say, "Hello, classmates. I come. My name is blah blah. My name is Mr. Candidate. I come from India, and what I've been doing you understand that puts a frame on it."
Okay.
This is, in your case, this is critical.
And I don't even know if you want to give your title, but I would almost say I've been working for 8 years for the government of India in various on different capacities.
His classmates want to know his title unless there's a reason for not giving it.
Deputy Commandant.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that sounds, so you say my title is Deputy Commandant. And for you people not familiar with the Indian
there you go.
Terminology, in America, that sounds like I work for the prison system. Or commandant is kind of a military term or a secured facility. And deputy makes it sound worse. Makes it sound like the commandant is the one raising money and you're the one who's mistreating everybody else.
In a way, and I won't say you work for a security agency that protects the infrastructure in the government.
Exactly.
You don't have to Central Industrial Security Force or any of that law enforcement. Just say security agency that protects the infrastructure of the country.
That doesn't do it for me. This is important.
I want to be more specific.
Well, I still don't know what you do. Okay, Central Industrial Security Force. That sounds to a non-Indian listener. That sounds heavy-handed and spy-like.
Yeah, the Indian equivalent of the CIA is what it sounds like.
Yeah, so you've got to debunk that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is critical. Let's hear it. What do you do?
I'm working for the specialized force, which is tasked to secure various critical installations within and outside India, like airports, seaports, the Department of Atomic Energy and Space installations, embassies.
Is that a government agency?
Yes, it's a government agency. Yes.
Is it so it's a specialized security force? Is there?
Yes.
Can you name any equivalent in other countries?
Yes, Homeland Security in the US has a very similar mandate like ours.
That's the bingo, right there. Working for the equivalent.
John beat me to the bingo, but
equivalent agency to the Homeland Security Agency in the US and India.
Yes.
Yeah, you want that kind of shorthand to make that so people don't misread what you're saying.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, this is critical because if you can't do this, you ain't getting in. All right. Harvard Business School interview question. First question. Could you introduce yourself to your classmates?
Yes. Hi, Sandy. Hi, John. I'm candidate from India, and I've been working with this government agency securing industrial assets within and outside
No,
India since past 8 years.
stop. Bad. You're just slipping into this. You've got to set this up. Introduce yourself to your classmates. You go, "Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Candidate. I come from India. Before coming to Harvard Business School, I worked for and this is the hard part. I worked for what?
The Indian equivalent of the Homeland Security.
I worked for X years, and you can put X in there. It's not a secret.
8 years.
Yes.
8 years at the Indian equivalent of Homeland Security. That, you see, that's a good setup. Now people are prepared to hear more.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Yes.
Yeah, that's simple and easy. It's not jargon filled, and it has a metaphor of an agency they're familiar with.
Right.
Mm.
But they'll push on. They'll say, what do you do?
Presently, I'm posted in the nation's capital, securing all the government establishments in the nation's capital. But before that, I was very specialized and working with the intelligence wing of the force. And basically, I was in a coal mining area, which was very theft prone.
Okay,
and
stop. You're a smart guy, Mr. Candidate. You got to get this right, and you haven't got it right yet. Okay, you agree, n'est-ce pas?
Yes, totally, I agree. Yeah.
All right. This is critical. If you can't do this, sayonara. This is a common question. I noticed you went to Punjab University.
Yeah, that's correct.
How come?
In 2007, I joined Punjab University, and I went for my undergrad in computer science and engineering. And that was actually my stepping stone for entering into the government services, because being a 4-year degree and an engineering degree, it gave me an analytical mindset.
Stop. The question was, how come you joined that university? How come you matriculated? What you've done, you're giving us the other, you're saying of why the experience was valuable looking backwards. Pay attention to this, both you and everybody else. I say it every week. So far, very few people have got it right. I went to high school in blah. It was like an academically oriented high school. I knew I was interested in this. My choices of applying to schools were, I wanted to go to either the IIT Joe Blow or this school or another school. And the choice was made easier for me. So by the IITs, because I didn't get in. So I went to this place. If that's true, they appreciate the honesty.
Understood.
Almost any Indian candidate who doesn't go to like a medical school or something. John, yes or no? Do you agree with this? If you're an Indian candidate being interviewed, you have to explain why you didn't go to IIT.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got to explain that.
And it could be that maybe your brother went there, maybe friends went there, they told you good things about it, you preferred it, whatever.
Yeah, that's another reason. That's another valuable module. When you're asked to explain why you went to X university, there are a number of things you should keep in mind. My best friend went there and I visited him and I was very impressed. It was recommended by a mentor. A number of people in my high school went there. They made a presentation at my high school and I followed up and visited the place. Those are all reasons, and very good ones, as to why you attend someplace.
Yeah.
So that should be part of everybody's answer to this very important question.
So my reason for joining the university was basically, it was a very good feeder school for government services. And many of the government servants have come out of the university, and that was my aim. Though I was selected in the NITs also, but I chose this.
It's a feeder for what?
Government services.
Job.
Yes.
I still don't get it. What services?
The common services, any government job.
Indian government jobs.
And you were actually accepted at an IIT, right?
At an NIT.
Oh, NIT. Okay.
You You wanted to join the government in high school?
Yes. Yeah, both my
why?
parents were government servants. Yes.
There you go.
You
wanted
gotta
to
upfront
follow
that.
the footprints of your parents who worked in
Yes.
government service. Perfect.
Yeah, footprints of my parents. John, you're so good at this.
That's it.
John, you would not have any trouble getting a satisfactory on your interview. Okay, but that's real important. Okay. This is a very popular question. What was unexpected when you got there?
So 4 years is not usually required. 4 years is a long term for graduation in India. So that was very unexpected. And the subject computer science.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I knew that. Yes, I knew that. But
that's a dumb answer. I'm
Yeah.
being tough on you, buddy.
yes,
You're very likable.
He was about to say something that I think is interesting, which is what surprised him is that he developed an interest in computer science and he didn't expect it, right?
No, actually, that's not the case.
Okay.
I could have gone for a 3-year degree. That would have saved me.
Let me give you the textbook answer. What was unexpected is how many kids came from a place. Like in America, people who go to the University of Wisconsin, if you say, what was unexpected when you got there? You go, one thing that was unexpected was a lot of kids came from New York. They turned out to be great, but that was unexpected. That's a totally fine, honest, authentic answer. You see, what you're trying to do is hit a home run. But as John is going to tell us, what is the purpose of the interview?
Answer the question.
Yeah, the purpose of the interview is to flunk people. They're not looking for superstars. They interview, 11 people, and they flunk 3 people. One of those people probably can't speak English well enough. That's not going to be you. The other 2 just have a real bad luck. And they go, I don't know, that guy was stuffy, or that guy never answered the question.
Or scripted. Scripted,
yeah. Scripted is their catch-all term for, I don't like this guy, but I'm not going to tell you why. I may have asked you this, but remind me, what's your roadmap after graduating from business school? What job would you want right away? And then what job would you want after that? And then where do you see yourself, at the kind of highlight of your career?
Definitely.
Everybody needs this spiel. Okay.
So right after college, I want to work in an MBB consultancy firm and take experience of diverse projects and solidify my skills, which I learned in the B schools. For 2 or 3 more years, I specifically in a managerial role want to work with healthcare projects. And then after 6 or 7 years of experience.
Why don't you join a healthcare specific consulting company?
So I have a personal reason for that. 2 years back, my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But my question is, instead of joining McKinsey, Bain, or BCG, where you may want to get into their healthcare practice, but they just use you as general labor. Isn't that right, John? You can request it, but you'll have a great experience. I'm just asking another question. Instead of rolling the dice at that, why don't you find a prestigious consulting firm that's focus is healthcare? And you should know the names of a few, as John will tell us.
Correct. BCG has a medical sector specifically working for medical innovations and consultancy. And one
you can apply. You can apply to that alone?
No, not initially, but after 2-3 years in a managerial role, you can choose healthcare projects in the healthcare sector.
That makes sense. I'm just asking. You can choose, but they might say, we got a lot of guys in that sector. There's been layoffs, so we'll keep in mind that this is what you'd like to do. But meanwhile, we're engaged in managing a Sao Paulo subway system extension, and we're going to send you there for a couple of years. So instead of being in healthcare, you're taking care of the Sao Paulo subway. Okay, you get it?
Understood. Yes.
So, we're just talking here. So you need an answer for why you're not applying to a healthcare consultancy right out of the box?
See, I don't have any traditional business background as such. So for initial 2 or 3 years, at least I want to experience and have feel of all the different business structures and verticals. Without knowing them, I can't move into a healthcare consulting.
Yeah,
That's a better answer.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard great things about the training programs of those big consulting companies. I've got friends who work there. My friend Joe Blow is now a second-year guy at BCG, and I've spoken to him about his experience. Okay, and it sounds great.
Understood. Yes.
So what about, I mean, the schools that you've chosen are schools where generally the mainstream student population is between the ages of 27 and 29, and you are 33.
Okay, name the schools he's chosen, John. Go back.
Harvard, Wharton, Chicago Booth, Dartmouth Tuck, Northwestern Kellogg, and Michigan Ross. So these are all schools where the mainstream students are between 27 and 29, let's say. At matriculation, you might be 34, significantly older, and that puts you at a slight disadvantage. Also puts you at a slight disadvantage in competing for MBB because, you know, they're looking at this certain range where they recruit a lot of people.
Yeah, how old will you be when you go on the job market from business school?
36.
Right. So
there's a phrase for that, a very delicate phrase called the high range of normal. What it means is, wow.
I wonder if you would be open to maybe some other suggestions here. Like, I think you'd be a great candidate for Oxford or Cambridge. Now, you know that these are two of the greatest universities in the world, top 5, generally considered. And Oxford has an interesting situation where you can get an MBA in 1 year, and then you can get a master's in global healthcare leadership in your second year. Graduate with 2 master's degrees, one in the field in which you want to enter, and then the MBA to give you the core fundamental discipline knowledge that a business person needs.
You can take that in, Mr. Candidate. I just want to interject here.
Yeah.
John, that's why we all love you. I'm the good-looking one, and you're the smart one. I'll take my fate.
And because Oxford and Cambridge are more recruit an older, more mature candidate as you, and your background is very suitable with your government service.
Let me interject here. What are the disadvantages if you go to Oxford and Cambridge? How hard is it to get a job outside of the UK coming out of it?
Not hard. The employment rates at Said are very good at Oxford.
Okay, but anyway, for folks in Peanut Gallery at home, if you're thinking of doing that, really investigate where their graduates wind up, both in terms of the company and the geography. It's something you may have to dig a little bit. These schools, shockingly, are not
they're not as transparent as many.
Yeah, they're not as transparent as you might think. Yes, transparent. Yeah, another great word. Right. Yeah. Good.
But I would seriously consider that. Now, I don't want to discourage you from applying to Harvard. I mean, you can throw what we call a Hail Mary pass at Harvard. But I do think that Oxford or Cambridge would be ideal for you, given your age.
Hey, John, what's his best chance at the schools he's listed?
I'd say they're low, except, you know, I mean, it's possible Michigan, which is an incredible school, could buy this. I think it's a hard sell for many of the other schools. Don't you think so, Sandy, at the age?
Yes, I think the age is a problem. I think you don't come with much of a dowry. That is to say, a 3.2 undergraduate at a not at a silver, not gold Indian undergraduate institute, and a 3.5 master's GPA is actually not distinguished. You know, most master's programs, they give out A's, or else you shouldn't be in them. I think you're going to have a hard time. Here's my advice to you. I'll put it in the form of we'll have some fun with it as a question.
Yeah.
What's your secret sauce? What's your greatest contribution? If you were being interviewed and they were getting serious, and you had cleared their mind of all the boo-boos, okay, and the guy leaned forward and he said, "Okay, you're in some neutral state. Why should we take you?" That's not a good answer.
Well, I mean, I think the reason, let me help you here, is you have an unusual background. 8 years of government service immediately makes you stand out, also from the Indian male IT crowd, for one thing, and from the mainstream of business schools, where most people come in not with any kind of government service, and not as long as 8 years doing all the different things that you've done. That makes you.
What can you contribute to a class conversation?
I think my intelligence experience would be handy.
That's anybody's answer. Meaning what experience? We're assuming everybody's intelligent.
So for 4 years,
but by the way, you're not making the case that you're super smart based on the numbers, which is how they.
Yes. No, for 4 years I was just juggling with data, and I think working with data and solving problems using data would be a thing to share with my classmates there.
I think the most impressive thing about you is that, and this is almost possibly disqualifying, haven't you supervised large numbers of people?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay, John, is that good news or bad news? They go, yeah, well, what does he need us for? Or they go, this is impressive. This guy could really talk. In a case discussion, this guy could take the airy thoughts of those younger and higher GMAT colleagues of his and apply some experience based on actually supervising people.
I think it's a real plus. 500 people you supervised. That's a big deal.
What you need, you have to work up a supervision shtick, if you know what that is.
And you didn't supervise them, you led them.
Yes.
Use the right lingo.
Well, supervised and led, both.
Yeah, okay, fine. Managed and led. I hate the word supervised. It's so old. I mean, I'll go back to the managing and leading 500 people. I'll go back to the fact that he applied analytics in a public policy role. So he brings a public policy perspective with analytical know-how, and the fact that he has experience managing so many people. Those are all great attributes.
Yeah, okay, true, and that would be an acceptable answer. Just amuse me here. Let's come up with a bingo answer. Why should we take you? It's a question every applicant should be able to answer.
For my experience, for my passion.
No, that's all, not the generic stuff.
Yeah.
One reason you should take me is I have 7 years. Well, one reason you should take me is I've got a passion for the intersection of government functioning and offloading this to the business community. And I've been involved in that. And this is a trend in the future. And I can really speak to that. I'm making this up, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Some macro idea that actually exists in the world.
Yeah,
Folks at home, you need an answer for this question. And it has to come from your experience, and it has to be informed by the world. Okay, let's finish up with this chestnut. People, I don't know if they ever actually asked this question, but it's frequently thought to be asked. Who would you want to sit next to at Harvard Business School?
I would like to sit next to Tom Foley, if possible. He's the managing director and partner of Blackstone Life Sciences.
Is he attending when you are?
No, he was a Northwestern Pass graduate.
That's a bizarre. Hey, buddy, that's a bizarre answer. Okay.
You would say, I would like to sit next to someone who is going to play a major leadership role in the Indian government and healthcare in the future.
That's one possibility. You see, what a lot of people say is, I want to sit next to someone completely different than me. That's the typical answer. That's acceptable. It's always a little disappointing. So you say, I'm going to really get to know my classmates. That's what the beauty of the HBS system is, as I've seen the tapes, etc. In terms of actually sitting next to someone, I'd like to sit next to someone that I have a personal affinity with. So we could become friends, we could start a study group, and also the possibility of becoming business partners. Okay. How good an answer is that, John?
That's a good answer.
Yeah. You really need a song and dance about how you're going to handle the age problem.
Yeah, how do you handle it though? I mean, it's there, it's present.
You go, I'm totally aware of this. And it's a problem. What I've done is I have researched some of the major companies that I might think about joining and some other companies that are not as well known. And I've researched these companies, and there's frequently every other year an outlier where they hire someone based on my experience. And I also think that I bring to the job almost, I could bring this and that to the job.
Yeah, that's good. Because here's what they worry about. They worry that they can't put you in a job that'll make you happy. No school wants to graduate people who ultimately can't do what they want to do and therefore are unhappy with the experience. They want to be aligned with your success.
Got it. Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, John, here's a torture question. What's the difference between a 7:30 and a 7:50?
A lot, sadly, shouldn't be.
Yeah. Okay. This is. Yeah, we're into the real dark secrets of business school applying here. Should you retake a 7:30? How many times have you taken it?
2 times. This was my second attempt. 7:10 on the first time and 7:30 on the second.
I don't know what to say. A 7:50 could make a difference, sadly. Don't you think, John?
Yeah, but the age is still a big issue.
Well,
let me just throw a few other things. I said earlier, Oxford, Cambridge, I really believe that. You might also look at the MBA for executives at Yale because they have a healthcare focused group there. You might look at
how would that work for him? For other listeners, the Yale program, what would that mean?
He'd have to, as an executive MBA, he probably would have to come and live in the United States, most likely in Connecticut, in New Haven.
But isn't that program for people returning to their jobs?
Yes.
Generally, it is. However,
without internships.
Yes. However, you'd be in the tribe there of people who are already in the healthcare field and who may be able to, who probably would help you transition. Your other option.
All right. Do some homework on that. It's a possibility.
There are 2 schools with MBA programs that specifically focus in and around healthcare. And those 2 schools are not on your list. That would be Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. Out of that city, 2/3 of all hospital beds in America are managed. And it is healthcare is a major industry in Nashville. And their MBA program is specifically designed to help people who want to play a role in that field. The other school I would look at is Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, which has a renowned medical school, and the business school has aligned itself in and around the healthcare sector, so that, both at Vanderbilt and Johns Hopkins, you're going to have a much better chance of getting into the age of 33. They're not Harvard and Wharton, but on the other hand, I think that they would be far more welcoming to you, and I think you would greatly benefit from an MBA at those schools.
Mr. Candidate, thank you for enduring this.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I actually wanted this, star medicine, because I am into this process, very anxious, anxiety soaring on me, but so it helped me. to make
Yeah,
a
John and
clear
I
choice.
are John and I are homeopathic practitioners.
Hey,
Close to it. Definitely
intend to
close
apply
to
to
it.
Kellogg, if you intend to apply to Kellogg, make front and center the executive at Blackstone that you admired, who got his MBA at Kellogg, went to work for MBB, and then leverage that into his position, and say he's the guy you want to emulate, because just that alone will help you at Kellogg. Okay, big time.
Right. Yeah.
Put that up
This
front.
guy knows what he's doing.
Put it up front and center right there. Do apply to Oxford and Cambridge. If you get into those schools, boy, you're going to be golden. They're going to be less concerned about your age and and they're going to be more embracing of your government experience.
Just to finish off here, how does the geography work? Mr. Candidate, where do you want to be working in 10 years? What country?
In India. At 10 years, I would love to be back and working in India. Yeah.
Okay, so how does Oxford and Cambridge play into that? That's good, right, John?
Very good. And they recruit at McKinsey Bank BCG. I mean, they recruit people, MBAs all the time from Cambridge and Oxford. They're on
England.
They are on the list. So you can get a foreign posting, you can go back to India.
Yes.
Ideally, Yeah.
Yes,
hey, good luck
that's
to you
definitely
and for all of you out there. Thanks for watching Fridays with Sandy. Good luck on your MBA journey. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants.